Hello, everybody. I'm Bugsy. I'm Bugsy Prime, also known as Bugsy John Augustus Kuro, and we're doing more. We're doing more. I almost said saying Chaos Lord 101. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about magic, and well, other types of Chaos Lords. Because yeah, I'm like the base level Chaos Lord you can possibly be, but there are what I will say to you all that there are no if you're a Chaos Lord, there are no limits to what you can do. Humans, well, you guys, I'll explain this to you. Magic for you guys is, well, you guys kind of forgot how to do it. Technically, evolution kind of pulled, let's just say evolution made it so none of you know how to actually use magic. That's the whole thing. Now, I can freely talk to you guys about magic and all this other stuff because, well, the SCP Foundation is kind of no more. Well, in our universe, for now. Let's just say they broke a treaty and they actually fucked with one of my kids, and I had to shut them down and had to move all the other SCPs to the Middleman Foundation. So yeah, I basically made the director of the MSP Foundation my bitch. Basically, I'm that powerful, but that's not the point. The point is, I fucking shut down the SCP Foundation in my universe. So that's pretty much cause for happiness. Now in the boss's universe, which is the main universe, what we're always broadcasting to, the SCP Foundation is still around. Now there are no Chaos Lords in the boss's universe, but in the universe that I actually come from, the universe that I'm broadcasting to, which has some overlap with our universe and his universe. Our universes actually are like kind of the same thing at the same time. It's quantum convergence. If I talk about it, you guys are it'll go right over your head. So I'm not gonna. It's a little too early to be talking about quantum convergence and and physi- and physical projections and all that stuff. So we're gonna talk about magic. Now, a lot of you know what magic is. You've seen it in Harry Potter. You've seen it in many, many stories of folklore. See, but Chaos Lords, we can basically do every bit of every kind of magic you've seen in D&D, to movies, to just stories. Hey, let me tell you something. Merlin? I can't really say if Merlin was a Chaos Lord or isn't, but I can tell you that he's close. Like, from what our archaeologists can clearly see, he is closely related to a Chaos Lord. Like, at one point, Chaos Lords and humans were the same species at a point. But you guys, we evolved one way and you guys evolved another way. We got to keep magic and what we got to use it for. You guys kind of had that slowly bred out of you, basically. Now, none of you can really do what we can do. It's kind of like that song from Cartoon Heroes. What we do is what you just can't do. I know that's talking about cartoons, but it's still the kind of the prevailing statement of what we Chaos Lords can do. I could actually warp reality, get other versions of myself from other timelines and other universes. Ergo, why you always see G or Noir with me, because they're so close to what my universe is. I'm able to pull them out easy. Others are a little bit harder unless we have that link or there's a portal next to their world that connects their universal mind. That's a little bit of quantum convergence, but not entirely. It's a little half of the same whole. But let's talk about magic. Now, Sid Raymond, you may know him as Lorenzo the Dead. You know, we call him here. He's what we call in our Chaos Lord language as a deadling. A deadling is kind of a wandering or vengeful spirit. I would say that Lorenzo would be a vengeful spirit, but his vengeance is petty. That's what it is. Like when people actually have when they're emboldened, it's like when they have justifiable rage or rage period. That's what makes him a vengeful spirit. But Lorenzo is a wandering spirit because of Mordecai. Now, Mordecai, from what I can gather about him, is he's some sort of necromancer that controls other things. All I can really gather about him. But here's the cool thing. But from what I can tell, he can summon other creatures to our worlds. I don't know really how that's actually. I don't know how he has that power. I don't think we won't be we'll be finding out because the BDF network, the Hood Gang network, and the Billy Bob Tanley network will be taking care of him, which I'll be doing more studies to that because I may be a king, but I'm also a scientist. Yeah, something that you guys don't really know. I don't really convey the fact that I'm a scientist because honestly, I like to pretend that I'm not because really I've done horrible things. I'm not even gonna be at liberty to discuss this with you. But back to magic. Now Lorenzo can do Sid Raymond can do low level magic. Summonings and little hexes. Something that Lordlets can do, which is what we call kids that are Chaos Lords. They can do base level magic, and what Lorenzo's doing is base level magic. I don't know if that skull that Mordecai has given Lorenzo can only do what he can do, because magic, regardless of what you may hear or what you've seen in stories or movies, magic is more dependent on your imagination. The potency of what you can do is solely dependent on what your mind can conjure. You know, people always say that imagination is like magic, in a sense. In a sense, they're kind of right. Not saying that Chaos Lord made that statement and now you all use it, because I don't want to imply anything that doesn't need to be implied, you know. Hey, I may not be. Hey, the SCP motherfuckers may not be in charge anymore, but there are some things we gotta keep to our chest to avoid massive panic. Because let's be real, you humans would be so scared. You guys would be so scared if you knew if Chaos Lords did exist in your dimension. You guys wouldn't know what to do. You guys would think we're menaces and we're trying to take over, when literally mostly every Chaos Lord in every universe has been there longer than you guys. Like, we were there when the Earth was still kind of growing, and even then our society was still leagues ahead of what you guys had. Y'all were playing with rocks and sticks. We had fucking actual electricity, light. And that wasn't because aliens came and gave us the knowledge. No, we were just naturally gifted, and we knew that point A rendered to point B. So yeah. Not saying that aliens don't exist, but literally there's a treaty with all of us, and we said, hey, you guys you guys can't really rule this planet. We're basically its protectors. So if you're coming and you're going to reveal yourself to the humans, you have to actually not explain how how you found Earth and pretend like you just kind of always knew that it was there. That's how the treaty works, at least. We Chaos Lords can't technically reveal ourselves. I only can because I'm the king and I'm basically like well, I'm the monarch, so basically I can do whatever I want. But I can't reveal everything about our race, our culture, and everything else. Can I just say that skin color isn't really an issue because Chaos Lords can actually change their skin color? What you're born with is what you are base-wise. When I mean base-wise, your skin color is still a part of what you do. I mean, it's a part of what you are, but you can actually change it. But you can only do it if you're a changeling Chaos Lord. Like my bro, Mousy Jackson Kuro, also known as Ansakamaru. Bugsy, did you really have to say my full fucking name? Yes. We gotta be transparent, Ansakamaru. That's the reason we're doing this. I thought the reason we're doing this is so people can understand when we start saying references and shit, so they actually get what we're trying to say. Well, that too. So, Ansakamaru, if you'd be so kind. Hey everybody, I'm Ansakamaru, and I am a changeling changeling Chaos Lord, fuck. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. It's been a while since I've stood in a makeshift classroom, which you gotta admit is what we always do, what we used to do back in the day. But we're broadcasting to so many people now. It's just like, oh, I'm a little bit winded. So, changeling Chaos Lords, we're known for changing form. And basically adapting various fighting styles quicker than normal Chaos Lords. Some of us have more, instead of relying on our physical strength, some of us turn to weapons. I'm pretty much like a jack of all trades. I know every fighting style right now, currently. And I'm pretty proficient in most weapons. But my main proficiency is basically guns. But I'm just gonna leave it at that because YouTube's kind of is bitch made the word? Yeah, bitch made's the word. Yeah, bitch made. So literally, when you're a lord how changeling Chaos Lords are made. Sometimes it can be one to every family, depending on the power level and the power and the magic of the mother or father. If they both have equal amounts of power, then yes, a changeling Chaos Lord is born. If only one parent has that, it's a 30-50 shot that your child will be a changeling Chaos Lord. Now, changeling Chaos Lords we're sort of a rarity in our society. We're basically the equivalent of like an albino. like we have been, but it's rare when we do. So all you changeling chaos lords out there, if you get older and you try to find more changeling chaos lords, it's very rare. There's only a few of us in existence. Now, a lot of you know that I have a ball form, which is what I'm in currently. But let's say I want to jump out of that and I'm in my regular form. Literally, I look human. I basically got the same black wings as my brother. A defining trait of a Chaos Lord, if it ain't our magic, it's the fact that we got our black wings. Now, some people kind of confuse us for fallen angels. Now, fallen angels are a whole different topic that we're not going to get into because none of you are prepared for that shit. So we're not going to get into that. But yes, we get like in human history, Chaos Lords are basically confused with fallen angels like all the time. Ergo, why we don't show ourselves to, why we sort of don't show ourselves to humans pretty often because y'all would think it's the end times and y'all will be stupid and you know you thought COVID was bad where everybody was taking everything. No. If y'all see us and you think it's the rapture, then you guys are gonna act really crazy. You know. And to avoid this, we just kind of don't show ourselves. We're able to show ourselves here because, well, Bugsy has dismantled the SCP Foundation. So we're pretty much free to say whatever we want, and you guys can take it as fiction or whatever. But for those of you that really want to learn, well, that's what we're here to explain. So, yeah. And in the medieval days, there were a lot of Chaos Lords back in the day. As blacksmiths or just regular people pretending to be actual mages. Now, there were mages in the medieval age, but again, you won't find that in human history. Mostly because the SCP Foundation kind of covers shit up, and we kind of, they're pretty much now beaten. So and don't worry, all the SCPs are moved to the Middleman Foundation, which is a foundation that me, my bros, and I own. And no, we are not taking recruits. Sorry. To every Chaos Lord, we have our own set of attributes that either form naturally or something that we have to just develop over time. For me, it's my speed and overall power input. For Sakamoto, it's his shapeshifting ability and his accuracy. For our brother Harima, it's more about him being durable. Man can take so many freaking hits and still keep on going. If a regular person was able to punch him in the face, you would break your hand on him. That's how freaking strong Har is. He's also a huge stick in the mud, but that's pretty much his personality. You guys are assholes. And there he is. Yeah, I am Harima. I am Harima Archeus Kuro. Which, okay, for me, for being a regular Chaos Lord that actually has durability, I'm very durable. I can take a laser to the face and only be hit with a minor scratch. Now, don't take this as gospel, but all of us Chaos Lords can be damaged. We can be hurt and even killed. It can happen. It's not something we like talking about, but it can actually really happen. And most Chaos Lords that don't have the Grim Reaper as an actual like grandfather, because the Kuro bloodline reaches far and wide for a multitude of reasons that we're not going to get into. The family tree is something we don't really discuss. Not because there's anything gross about the Kuro family tree, it's just you guys ain't ready for that kind of shit, and we don't feel comfortable really talking about it yet. We might in the future. Okay, but back to Chaos Lords. We are basically discriminated against when we're young because we can change shape, we can do all this other stuff, and people think that, like in a regular human society, we're kind of seen in a Chaos Lord society, we're kind of seen as devils or tricksters, even though technically Chaos Lords are tricksters by nature. But tell the other houses that they don't believe that shit. They don't. Most of them are just fucking bureaucrats anyway. It's like a Maru. I mean, that's true. Like, can we talk about the times the times that people have tried to assassinate me? And they're so surprised, like they just shit themselves. Oh my god. My king, I didn't know how strong. Oh god, please don't pull that out. It's supposed to stay on my body. No. Why? Bugsy, it's not gory theater time. It should be. That should be a mandate. Just kidding. We'll be back in a minute, folks. So, anyways, Hex is, again, magic is only strong as the user. And your imagination plays a big part in that. Give me a minute, folks. We're going to jump cut for a minute. So, okay. We're going to use Sid Raymond as an example. Now, Mr. Sid Raymond is very weak as a deadling. Like, he's the most pathetic deadling I've ever seen in my goddamn life. He is so petty. And that pettiness kind of results in his power. That skull that Mordecai has given him can only be as powerful as he is. So people say, he says that he's, powerful. He's more powerful than he's been. Mordecai probably did give him power, but again, for him, for a deadling, the power is only as powerful as his spirit. Ergo, the boy's weak sauce. The diarrhea spell is a low-level spell that Lordlets learn when they're at least 5. And literally, that's all he's able to do. But but a diarrhea curse only lasts for at least a few hours. Probably 5 or 6. Tops. But the history of an explosive diarrhea spell is supposed to immobilize you and keep you on the toilet, because you're not going to be moving around as much if you have diarrhea. And I guess Lorenzo knows how to do his fate spell because he was able to be to get Boba fired from Pizza Hut, which is just a random probability spell. Something that as Chaos Lords learn when we're 1. Or not even when we're 1, when we're 6. That's the key of learning how to warp reality when you're a Chaos Lord. It's all about the basics. So if Lorenzo had a big enough imagination, if Sid had a big enough imagination, and a little bit more power as a deadling, he would actually be able to do some damage. But as it stands, He's about as weak as a lordlet, which is kind of an insult to lordlets when they're little, little chaos lords when they're little, because lordlets can be a little bit stronger. But I would say he's about as strong as a newborn baby chaos lord. And anything else, Bugsy? Well, there are advanced hexes and curses, but I want to talk about the little smaller things first. This is our first time back, so I want to just kind of I want to tell you guys stuff. There is a third type of Chaos Lord called the Techno-Organic Chaos Lord. Ancient text says that a lot of them go extinct. Some of them could be made biologically, but some can be made artificially. Now, how I made Meta, which he is a Techno-Organic Chaos Lord. Well, I should call him Richie because literally, Meta is just his little code name. Richard O'Malley Kuro is Meta's full name. And he is such a good boy, and not even kidding. Bugsy, it's not time for you to be beaming with fatherly pride. Hey, I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. I love my son. What? I love my son. I love my son, and I love the rest of my sons and daughters. What? You had to correct yourself there. Hey, I'm not a dad that I don't favor any of my kids. Okay. Because most of them are grown, and Richie. I never had the chance to really just be a dad. So, yeah. But you know that from our therapy sessions on Sukamaru. Yeah, I do. I'm just busting your balls, bro. Okay. Techno-Organics can be made with a little bit of Chaos Lord or any kind of material or any kind of DNA from a female to a male. So Bugsy did took some DNA from Mindfang and made Richie with some of his DNA. Now we could say it's not done with spit or hair. Guess with Prime, you guys kind of get where he got the DNA from that from. But with Mindfang, he had a little bit of her DNA in this jar. Mostly because I was stricken with grief when she died and basically wanted to make a clone. That didn't really go anywhere. But then I started reading about Techno-Organic Chaos Lords. And because Vriska was my child and she basically gone to that dickhead, Doc Scratch, I literally decided to take some of Mindfang's DNA, my DNA, and make a kid. And because of that, and because of the way he was made, which was in a lab, with various technical Chaos Lord equipment that I'm not really going to get into until maybe later on in another video. Richie, my son Richie was born. Y'all know the story. He got taken by Dr. Cube. I had to get him back. I beat the ever-loving god of Dr. Cube to the point where he really couldn't get up. I took off the little cube part of his little face protection where Dr. Cube like in regular kaiju big battle, he's a very ugly person. So I got to beat him down while I took that off. So I literally started welling on him. Only in my universe. In your universe, Dr. Cube is just kaiju big battle. So there's nothing else I really have to say there. Now, and if any of you think we're going to talk about the dimensional merge by the delusional Christian, we're not going to fucking do that. Yeah. Y'all don't understand what Chris means when he says dimensional merge. An actual dimensional merge would be catastrophic. I know Chris tries to dress it up like it's going to be sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. No. When you mash universes together, there are consequences. There are reasons why that shouldn't happen. There are things that you need to take into account if a dimensional merge is happening. Because dimensional merges are an unnatural disaster. Because they're so unpredictable. That's the thing that old Chrissy boy don't know about. But hey, he's human. You get it? Chris is human. There is no goddess thing in him at all. Merely just a human pretending to be something he isn't. Not saying that chaos. We're not going to talk about Chaos Lords and God tier just yet. That's a total subject for another day. And I will be talking about chrono distortions and chronotons and a few other things that I was talking about at the beginning. So you'll be seeing us You'll be seeing us soon, guys. But for now, we bid you a fond farewell. And yes, this is a part of our little summer event, but we wanted to educate you as well. The boss on our website is going to be talking about the Archie refresher course and bringing that back. So we're going to see you guys later. Everybody, remember, us Chaos Lords are nothing to be afraid of. We're just regular people. We got magic. We got wings, but at the end of the day, even though a lot of Chaos Lords don't admit it, we're human too, in a sense. Well, humanity-wise. But we'll be seeing you guys later. And maybe we'll see the time displaced Big 3, because they'll probably be used for one of my demonstrations for the next class. Class dismissed, everybody. There is no homework because we don't really do quizzes. I mean, we could do quizzes, but would you really want us to pull out some quiz stuff? Nah. And trust me, this isn't like summer school, so, so don't worry about it. We're totally not paid review. Just thought I might say that. Just thought we'd say that. But we'll see you guys later. Peace. And remember, folks, us Chaos Lords are different in a bunch of different ways. But at the end of the day, we all have the one thing that binds us: humanity. Peace.
You watching the Big 3 Bots Network?
Yeah. Okay.
You watching the Big 3 Bots Network?
Yeah. Okay.